Okay, some superlatives. Let's do some superlatives, and then we'll get into the second annual Cock of the Year award. Which is pretty fun.
Who's taking the cake from Red Rocket? We'll see. We'll see.
Yes. So last year was Red Rocket. So, all right. This is going to be our opportunity to kind of champion a few films that didn't get on our top 10, but that we really love. I think there's often, we find a movie that like there's a lot you love about it. There's a lot of personality, but it's just not like good enough to like crack that top 10. So you can answer this however you want. Don't go too long, but most underappreciated movie you saw in 2022.
Okay.
It
this
probably
is hard.
Shouldn't be on your top 10.
Yeah, I'm not going
It
to do
could
that.
be.
I part of me wants to make this very me and say something ridiculous, but I was gonna say Texas Chainsaw because I actually kind of liked it. I know everyone hated that movie.
God,
I forgot that even came out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same. I mean, it's just what a runtime. What is it's 83 minutes long? That's
Oh, wow.
insane. I love it. Anyway, I'm gonna go with wait, what was it? Oh, Bros. I feel like that. I mean, I wasn't expecting Bros to be very good. I like Nicholas Stoller's movies. Is that his name? Yeah, but
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is really funny. I actually like Billy Eichner a lot. There are parts of this movie that are annoying, but just like his comedy style, it can be kind of too much. But I had a lot of fun. I laughed a lot, and probably the funniest sex scene I've ever seen in my life. You should all check it out.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I heard it was. I remember you telling me you thought it was funny. It did not do well at the box office at all.
I think it was a
very-
victim of marketing. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the poster looks like a terrible like B movie or like something straight to DVD.
Yeah, it looks like a Lifetime movie or something.
Yeah.
Not a great poster. It's a good pick. I'll leave Chandler. I think is going to talk about funny pages, so I'll talk about Crimes of the Future, which was
Fuck.
Oh man,
That's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can
That's
both
fine.
talk about it.
Well, I had funny pages on my list, so I was.
Oh, you did. I forgot.
But yes,
I forgot.
Crimes. This
Just
is
talk about
fine
it
because it
once.
frees me up to talk about something else. But yes, Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future is fucking bizarre.
It's so
Body
bad.
horror, Cronenberg, but it's like a thoughtful like meditation on the body and like the creative process. And
It's so much world building for like no reason.
and we talked
It's
about this
odd.
a bit, but it reminds me almost of Blade Runner, where it's
Yeah.
different and much smaller scale, but just like the world building it exists in is so interesting. And Vigo does like a weird Batman voice. Like,
Can
half
I
the
just
movie.
say that I fucking love that post Lord of the Rings Viggo Mortensen. He could have gone anywhere to any director, done anything, but he chose to be David Cronenberg's little freak. I love that. He's in so many of David Cronenberg's movies. The two get along very well. It's just it's very cute.
Have
That
you
he went from
seen
Green Book to Crimes of the
the tweet? And it's just them like they've kissed on the lips at like every press junket.
So many
Have
times.
they? Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
many times.
There's just
Viggo Mortensen is making his directorial debut this year with a
Oh my
lot
goodness.
of the crew from David Cronenberg's movies.
Wow,
Oh.
I didn't know that. This
Yeah.
might not technically be underappreciated. I mean, on Twitter, there's a big Cronenberg.
It's
community.
underappreciated by me, perhaps.
But
I'm
I love-
thinking of giving it an extra half star just because of Vigo and Cronenberg kissing.
Do it.
That's just a good
It's-
vibe.
Yeah.
It's great. I remember
Viggo also doing the Resident Evil merchant is fucking awesome. He was just crouching the whole time.
Oh, I thought you meant he actually did. I was like, are you serious?
no! Oh my god, that'd be insane.
They
No.
should get him to in the movie. They do.
I always have a love for actors who, after doing something big like Pattinson or Vigo or Elijah Wood or Daniel Radcliffe, they just go do weird shit
Mm-hmm.
because they
Yeah.
like they don't need the money. They'll just do a bunch of weird shit. So, shout out Crimes of the Future.
I missed
good.
it. I want to
Alright.
watch it still.
Chandler.
What is this? What is this?
Most
again?
underappreciated.
Underrated? Is there do we have a hidden gem one? Is there two?
We do have a
different
hidden
ones?
gem, yeah. You get
I
two
feel like that's kinda
opportunities.
the same
These
thing.
technically could be the same
Kind of the
thing.
same.
All right. Well, then I'll do underappreciated for now, and I'm gonna go with a movie that I know some of us here don't like, but White Noise, Noah Baumbach's movie.
Oh,
I liked it. Whoa.
White Noise is fucking bizarre. And I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, the first 25 or so minutes, 20 minutes, I was about to shut it off. Because you could tell that he's ripping every line he likes from the book and playing it all at once. And
Yeah.
these characters don't really feel like characters so much as they do vessels for translating the author's words, which I'm sure in the book is great. But the longer it went on, the more I was into it, because the way they sell it is that it's this disaster movie where this big gas leak happens or whatever. That's only the first act. It goes off the rails from there. And I really enjoy it. The set design's insane. Noah Baumbach can do Spielberg really well. The ending is odd. It feels like the sort of next canonical entry in the Under the Silver Lake Inherent Vice kind of thing.
No.
Especially that ending scene.
The
at
third
end of
act for sure,
climax.
I think. But the
Yeah.
first two, I don't know.
I'm not going to say it's on the level of Under the Silver Lake or Inherent Vice, but I'd like it more than most people, even though I will admit the first 20 minutes were too much.
Oh yeah.
But I love that
first,
you went from Marriage Story to this. Awesome.
first 20
Mhm.
minutes, it was really a slog to get through, and then just kind of like bottomed out. It didn't get better, didn't get worse. It was just
I
went
love the second
down.
act.
If
If the whole movie was the second act, I
I
would have.
hated it. I had I found
Oh,
no
Jesus.
enjoyment. I don't like saying that. I love Noah Baumbach. I was looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
It's great.
I just God.
I appreciate that it did something different. It's so odd because Noah Baumbach is one of my favorite directors working today, but most directors that I really like, I like everything they do. Noah Baumbach has like 2 or 3 movies that I fucking hate.
Which one?
Yeah.
The ones that I love are some of my favorites.
I love him.
I don't know. Like, some people
I
have,
love
have
him.
leveled the criticism at Noah Baumbach that he's kind of a pretentious director, and whether you agree with that or not, it's whatever.
Yeah.
This one I got that criticism like 100%. There's a very specific scene where there's Adam Driver and he's talking about Hitler, and there's another character who's talking about Elvis, and they're both like
That's where
talking over each other, and
That
I'm
was
like,
weird.
That's
oh
why I
my
wanted to shut
God.
it off.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, I agree.
In
I agree.
theory, I love that scene. Like it's kind of interesting in concept and everything, but just it's the titular white noise. It's just like too
Yeah.
much. And it
I
never
agree.
the movie just
I
never
agree.
hooked me again once it lost me at the beginning, I suppose.
I like the ending though. Also, it's got LCD sound system. First new song in a while, and the song fucking rips. So, White Noise.
Cool.
Oh, underappreciated hidden gem. This is difficult. Quite difficult to like pick. I'm still not even sure what exactly I'd like to pick.
You had 3 other people decided before you.
I know, and I'm
You
the one
made
that
the
came.
topic.
I'm the one. I know. I'm the one that came here with the topics. It's just. All right, so
I have a backup you could have if you want.
Yeah. Have you heard of Tar?
I guess these are just
Um,
going to be they're both hidden gems and they're both underappreciated, I suppose. The first one, I think I'm going to go with a movie called The Cathedral, which it's underappreciated because no one can fucking see it.
I haven't heard of this.
I
I feel like that would fit more into the category of hidden gem.
well, yes, the hidden gem is also a movie you can't fucking see. So that's my dilemma. They both fit in the same category, but we're gonna go here because it has a relatively low score on Letterboxd, and I don't think it deserves that. So this is underappreciated in that regard. It's a very interesting first time director movie. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It could be the most boring thing you've ever seen. If you're not in the mood for it. It's essentially, if you've ever seen Code Unknown, the Michelle Haneke movie, which is just, every scene is just one shot. This is essentially like that, except the shots are not moving. They're essentially just static frames with people coming in and out of them. And it is a movie about a kid growing up in the late 90s to early 2000s. And about the family troubles that are happening and the world that is happening outside of that. See 9/11. It's so interestingly framed and made, I cannot think of a movie that is quite like it. It's very much like channeling almost like Tarkovsky or Bellatar, but it's very much an American movie. It's one of the most American things I've seen in a while, and not American like the Top Gun Maverick sort of way. It's just like a document of normal working life of just a kid growing up, and not in a way like Boyhood where it's like dramatized. It's not dramatized in any way. It's incredibly boringly presented. It is literally just a document of a family, essentially. And it's just like a cultural snapshot of the 2000s. And I don't know, something very specifically about that resonated with me, of being like a kid from the early 2000s, that it just, a lot of it, of like the rooms and the technology and just the vibes of the frames just kind of connected in a very deep way. It's so hard to find. I found it through certain means, and I was very happy that I did. And it's a very unique experience of a movie. So if you ever get the chance to watch it, I think it's pretty interesting.
Only 3,000 people have watched it on Letterboxd, and only 2,000 people have actually rated it. But I'll tell you what, that runtime looks really nice. 87 minutes. Oof.
It could not sustain much longer than 87 minutes. So
yeah,
it got out when it needed to.
Nice.
All right. Hidden Gem.
Oh, crap. Okay. Hidden Gem. I think I'm gonna go. I mean, I only give this a 3.5. I did really like it, but Disney Channel's theme, History Mystery. It's from the same guy who did the one I had it on last year, the other YouTube movie.
The part Disney Pass.
The Fast
Pass.
This one's about the
Fast
Disney
Pass.
Channel theme song, like trying to find out who composed it. Which the first 2/3 of the movie, I'm like, why do I care? I'm only watching this because I like this guy, and nobody else would probably finish this. But by the end, there is a reason. I just think that probably should have been at the beginning. But despite that, it's a good movie. I think he's moving up in just the quality, the way it's shot and all the effects and everything.
YouTube
Yes.
cinema.
YouTube cinema. That's interesting.
YouTube cinema.
Yeah. So that's
How
fine.
long is it? Do you remember?
It's just short of hour
It's
and
like
a
an
half. I think.
hour 30. I
It's
thought.
92
Yeah.
minutes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I
Cool.
recommend his other one more if you're going to watch either of them, but this one's good too.
Is it like sinister, or is it just more of like a journalistic?
No, it's just kind of like, I guess he's just confused why. I mean, you can make an argument that it's just like corporate crap, like, nobody, it's not about the art, it's about the product and all that stuff, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, it reminds me of H Bomber Guy. I didn't
That's what
watch
they
it.
brought up, and I told them I watched this.
What was it? 4 hours for the Roblox sound.
The Minecraft. Oh yeah, the Roblox.
I gotta
sound.
watch that.
Insane.
That is
literally
great.
4 hours. I guess for Hidden Gem, it's just a movie I want to talk about. That's not on my list. Terrifier 2.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not
I
near
forgot that came out this
the
year.
top of my
Last year.
list. But I wanted to support it because it was getting a lot of buzz. I watched it in a tiny theater in Texas where my grandparents are with my cousin. It was just us in the theater, and it was one of the best, like, most interesting theater experiences for me because the movie it's a slasher movie. Probably the most violent thing I've ever seen, to the point where we're like laughing because it's so grotesque. And the kill scenes go on for so long. They're so sadistic. It was just a very unique experience.
I heard it should have been cut down though.
Oh yeah, it's
Like,
way.
It's pretty long.
Yeah, it's way too long.
It should.
It's interesting.
What is the runtime?
It's like 2.5 hours or something.
Dude, they literally could have
Yeah.
cut 30 minutes.
138
It's-
minutes.
Jeez.
That's insane.
It's way too long. It should be 90 minutes. What did I write here?
That's how long the first one was.
Oh yeah, I said the kills are so incredibly cruel and cynical that you actually root for the characters, compared to other slashers where you root for the novelty of the kill. And it's very low budget. I think it's just a means to show the directors. He has a history of working in like special effects and practical effects and like creature stuff. So I think it's just a vehicle for him to exercise that, but it's interesting.
I just
I'll
like
say that.
it's interesting that Terrifier 2 came out and has sort of like, I don't know, it became this huge thing. There's this coffee shop just down the street. I forget what it's called. I think it's called it's Horror Vibes Coffee. And it's just a coffee place that has a bunch of shit from horror movies on there. And there's a big mural of Art the Clown in there.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I've
It's
been
crazy how
researching
much it popped
tattoos,
off.
and now my Instagram Explorer, I saw someone with the Art the Clown tattoo.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Like it's crazy. His design is very cool though. Very cool
It
design.
is, yeah. Gives me hope for indie horror, but I'll get around to it eventually. Maybe during Terrifier 3. But
Yeah, we'll definitely make a third one.
Support legitimately independent cinema. What the fuck are we on again? What
Hidden
is it?
Gem.
Hidden Gem.
Gem. Oh, Hidden Gem. Yeah. I'll follow in DJ's footsteps here and do a little bit of YouTube cinema. Although this one isn't like a documentary video essay type thing. This is called We Have to Leave Here Together. It's a film made by Joel Haver, who makes a lot of movies he just puts up for free on YouTube. It is like one of the most brutally like uncomfortable breakup movies. But it's just him. The premise is that it's about a guy and a girl who go away for a cabin for a weekend together, and you can kind of tell that they're about to break up, and then they eventually kind of do, but it's left ambiguous. The catch is that he plays both of the guy and the girl, and the guy just looks like him, and the girl is just him but in a blonde wig. So on paper it's like ridiculous, but it's so like brutally fucking honest and really well acted and just uncomfortable and cringe, but in like a desperate for connection kind of way. And it's just one of those things where, you know, he shot it over the weekend for like $20. He plays both characters. It's really well shot for being like something that he made on his own for free. I recommend it. His like short form content gets more views, but I don't really typically watch him. But whenever he puts up a full feature length movie, I watch it. But very
How
good.
long was it?
Let me pull it up on YouTube real quick. I want to say it's like 80 minutes. It's like a feature length movie.
That's cool.
I highly recommend it. It's a little too real. I won't lie. It's
Where did it
it's an
land on your
hour.
list?
It's an hour. Clean hour. It landed number 23 between the Northland and Irma Vep.
Nice. Okay.
Didn't you say him playing both characters gives it like a different element to it that wouldn't be there if he had an actor?
I
playing the
agree.
other
It
role?
does. It does.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I really recommend it. That's all I can say. It's good. Cringe, but good cringe.
All right.
Cool.
Another movie that is impossible to find that I really want to talk about real quick is a Danish film called Godland. A Danish Icelandic co-production. It is in Danish and Icelandic, two languages you don't often hear. And it is like The Cathedral. It is long, it is slow, and it is purposefully boring. It is, and another
Sounds like
connection
Jacob
is that
Cotton
it's
movie.
yeah. I say this because I want to like preface it if you're into that, if you are feeling that kind of movie, this is the movie I'm going to recommend. I don't necessarily recommend The Cathedral. I think it's impossible to find. Godland, I think you might be able to rent. I'm not sure though. It's about a Danish priest who is sent to Iceland, remote in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, to start a parish. And it is just about his journeys. He's a amateur photographer, so he brings around photography equipment with him to Iceland. And it is, I think, perhaps the most beautifully shot movie of the year, although there's a lot of competition. One movie that competes with it is EO, which I just finished watching, and that will be my only comment to this entire episode about that movie. It's great. Godland is... I have a lot of reservations about it. Like, it is long. It was boring even for me at some points, but there were some scenes in it. There were some moments of like pure cinema that were by far, I think, some of the best cinema of the year. There is a great long take that's just like slowly moving in on an actor's face of him just like delivering a monologue. And then there's like this explosion of violence afterwards. And just so visceral and amazingly conceived of a movie. And if you're filming in Iceland, how could it not be beautiful? I love landscape photography, so this is a movie that's very much for me. Godland. If you can find it, I recommend it.
All right.
Nice. I just added that to my watch list. That sounds interesting.
What's next?
All right,
Cock
the
of the
worst
year?
movie we've seen. Let's
Oh, worst.
let me preface this. I don't care for dwelling too much about the bad of a year. I think, cinema is a collaborative effort, and often, especially knowing people, and there's some roommates in this house that have worked on some pretty shitty movies. I'll be honest. But the point is that it's film, and it's just fun to work on them, and so I don't think
I
it's
agree.
necessarily nice to poke fun at movies all that much, but especially when it comes to big studio movies, I think we gotta do it from time to time just to keep them in check. So, what is the worst thing that we all saw this year?
I'm gonna go with Elvis, but
Wow.
I know it's so crazy because I
Elvis?
don't understand how someone could like this movie, but there are so many people that do.
Solidarity,
And
Chandler. Solidarity.
It's so strange to me. I don't get it because
I don't
I'm more
love
on,
it.
I'm more on DJ's side than I am on the other side. So.
Felt
I
like
don't
a
love it.
2.5 hour movie trailer.
It's awesome.
The way
Okay.
it's cut is so
I
jarring.
I do not like the first like half hour. The way it's cut. I agree with you. It is cut like a trailer, but it is like it's just quintessential Elvis, where it's so like ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah.
I like Austin Butler's performance. I will say the music, like the need to put Doja Cat in it, is annoying, and it feels like they put like hip hop music whenever there's like non-white characters in it, which is like
Oof.
weird. I'm like, why
Yeah.
did you put that in there? But I will say, like, it's fun.
It's so strange
fun.
because the
I'm so-
first 20 to 30 minutes is what I liked. I was in, and then
I'm the
I don't
polar
know if
opposite.
it just. I know. I don't know. It must have just. I got tired of it, or I mean, what I thought about like 2 hours in, I'm like, this is so chaotic, but what's happening isn't very chaotic. So it felt like to me that they had a just generic movie, and then they were like, give it to like the trailer house, and they'll edit it again. Do another
It-
pass. And,
It's too much, and the framing narrative is unneeded.
yeah.
I can,
But
I can
Tom Hanks
definitely-
gives performance of the year.
It's
so
so
entertaining.
strange. It's strange in a very entertaining
Yeah,
way. I can
yeah,
see
I
how
agree
someone
there.
would be entertained by this film. I don't understand the love for it in terms of like awards, and like it's getting nominated for like best picture Oscar wise. It was nominated for the BAFTA. I'm like, what are you talking about? I could see it being entertaining, but I'm not sure it's anyway. That's my beef with
It's
it.
middle of
I'm
the
also
list.
like DJ in that maybe I'm a little more generous. I'd say like the first 40 minutes had me. I think there's a strong like narrative progression, and then it just kind of like starts treading water in terms of Elvis's life and goes over a few events. You're like, okay, you could have cut this out. You could have made your point more succinctly and moved on. It's a very long movie.
I agree, and I feel
But
like
the ending is good.
the ending is incredible, and that could be partially
There was an
raising my
attempt.
score.
I can't remember.
But it's one of the few endings where it uses real footage in a way that is that and,
The
like,
cut to the
Klansman,
real Elvis is fucking insane.
It is brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal, and I feel like they could have done a better job of explaining, because Elvis will make a choice, and you know he went from like thinking one way to another, but they never say how. It just cuts to later, and he has a different like worldview. And I wish I'm like how did he come to this conclusion
Yeah.
rather than just like skipping to years later. So I do agree it's flawed, but worst of the
I'm
year.
sorry. Yeah.
I didn't even know Elvis was
This is
a real
the
guy
worst.
until I saw this movie.
It's the worst time I had at the theaters. I'm sorry. Even Black Adam was a little bit more entertaining.
It
to
was.
me.
It was the
I
worst
didn't
time. I
see
think
it.
I had it at a theater, but I saw a lot worse in terms of movies, but maybe it was just like it was so late at night that it was just like, come on, I want to go home. I want to go to bed. Anyway. Sonju, worst thing you saw this year?
All right. Well, Jacob, I agree, especially as like we're starting to make movies and we want to like and all of our friends work on sets. It's like I don't want to shit on movies too much, but the answer is Jurassic World Dominion.
A movie we saw together.
We did see it. It was like what 10 at night. We're like,
Yeah, it
let's
was
just go.
late.
We'll see it at IMAX. It'll be cool. Dinosaurs. It's just a slog, and they waste the reunion of the big three, the original characters. It's just bad. I feel bad for Colin Trevorrow because I think his episode 9 would have been much better. I still think he's a good filmmaker. I just I
Safety
like the
Not
first,
Guaranteed is good.
and I like Jurassic World, the first one.
Mm.
So
But do you
I don't know,
like the
just a
Book of
bummer.
Henry? Because I heard
I
that
didn't
was
see it.
awful. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That was
about
when Disney was being pretty reactionary post Last Jedi,
Yeah.
post Batman v Superman drama. So anyway, that's my pick.
Chandler?
I don't have the pick. I
Okay.
abstain.
Great. I have a pick, and I have no hesitations about calling Disney out. Pinocchio, Disney's Pinocchio, is one of the most baffling things I've seen in a long time. I have a sick fetish for watching Disney's live action remakes. None of them have been good. None of them. And yet I keep watching them because I love putting myself through the pain. This one in particular, though, I would happily watch Mulan again. I would happily watch the live action Lion King again. This Pinocchio, it makes regardless of where you put Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio on your list, it makes Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio look like Citizen Kane. The gulf between the two is absolutely astounding. And the fact that another Pinocchio came, there was 3 Pinocchios this year.
There were 3 Pinocchios. Yeah.
Wild.
It's insane.
And this was just like,
Well, because hit the public domain.
yeah. This was just ill-conceived from the very beginning. And
You're gonna see that trend, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
The cherry on
Pooh
top
Bear
was the ending. The ending was absurd. It just was like, we're done. We're done making a movie. So here
wanna see
they've
it now.
reunited. It's boring. It's just boring.
Just the clips then.
It was so painful. Nick will testify. It was just painful to watch. And that's, there's some bad movies that I didn't care for, like Amsterdam or Blonde or Elvis. But those are auteur bad. They're movies that I didn't care for, but at least they were interesting. There was like an artistic voice behind them.
I'm so surprised you actually watched that.
I am.
It's crazy. The same guy did Back to the Future.
I know. It's
Awesome.
I was so mad, dude.
Awesome.
Like, what happened to him?
All right, real quick, let's go rapid fire. Best blockbuster you saw this year. You don't need to comment on it because I'm sure we already talked about these.
But what if it's in our top 10? It's fine.
Yeah, so we're not
Okay.
talking about it. Just say the movie.
What?
Top Gun. Maverick.
The Batman.
I mean, my favorite blockbuster is in my top 5, so I'm gonna say my second favorite, which is The Batman.
Look, we
Those
would never
can't
have known it
jackass
was in your
forever.
top 5 unless you told us. So now don't spoil it.
True.
Best action movie of the year. It was an indie movie. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
You said blockbuster.
Best action?
You just said blockbuster.
Blockbuster. I did say that. I also meant action movie. But if you want blockbuster, sure.
Okay.
Top Gun, whatever. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Block.
I'll accept.
I'm all over the place. All right, we're gonna do cock of the year. Unless someone else had an interesting superlative they wanted to quickly go through.
I think it's time for Cock of the Year.
Great.
I think there's only
people-
Everyone's waiting for it, yeah.
I think there's wait, no, there's like a couple of choices. Should we go through the
Yeah. The
Oh,
nominees.
Yeah,
let's
I'll
just,
go
let's
through
just,
the
let's
nominees.
just get
We're-
through it. Let's just
All right.
pick.
Well, we'll go through the nominees. Apparently, X has a cock.
It's a good
It's
cock.
fake.
Well,
Doesn't count.
It's a silhouette, so you don't know.
It's fake. It's prosthetic.
Still,
But it's still-
the artistic expression
Yeah.
of the image of a cock that evokes.
You're supposed to think.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
guess
cock.
if it was an animated cock, it would count.
Okay,
Okay.
let's take a step back. We technically do accept artistic drawn expressions. We also accept.
we're lenient on the cock, all right?
Yes. It doesn't have to be a literal cock. However,
It can show balls. It cannot show balls.
However, in terms of voting or in terms of what we would think is the best, we're probably going to lean towards a real one. So it has
Flesh
to
and
be a
balls.
really good drawn or whatever in order to be considered. So, for example, in Everything Everywhere All at Once, there is literally a cock dildo. This counts as a nominee.
That counts.
As opposed to a butt dildo.
And in Funny Pages, there is a few drawn cocks.
There's some tucked cock too. You can see a bit of tip.
Yeah.
The ratings online, like on IMDb, tells me that there is one in Triangle of Sadness. I think it's
There-
like
there
just like
is.
the fraction of during the throw up scene.
Yeah.
But
Barf and cock.
it's very.
You want to watch it now, Chandler?
Throw it on.
That should be enough.
For Barf and cock, yeah.
Along with The Northman, which is just a dead man, a naked dead man. And then
True.
movie which no one besides me saw. It's a Netflix movie called Lady Chatterley's Lover. It has full frontal nudity, both male and female. The movie I talked about earlier, Godland. Godland is a very similar type situation to Banshees of Inisherin, another nominee on this list, where it is just a guy sitting, a door opens, and there's the cock. And Jackass Forever. I haven't seen
Oh,
that, so
Jackass
I'm-
Forever. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Duh.
just balls. Well, actually, no, there's paint.
That's my nominee.
Is that
It's a
your
good
pick?
one. It's a
Spoiler.
good one.
Yeah.
Should we get-
Chris Pontius
Okay,
is
and then,
Godzilla cock. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
that
gross.
might be my pick. I was gonna go funny pages because Tuck to Cock is so funny. I don't think I've ever seen that in a movie.
Yeah, I agree.
What?
Like the-
Silence of the Lambs. Right?
Well, in
No,
a
that's
way.
different.
In a different
He
way.
tucks it up into his underwear waistband.
and he like doesn't he like lift his shirt?
no,
And he just,
he tucks it between his legs because there's a he like.
No, we're
shows
talking
it.
about
I know.
Funny pages.
That's
Oh.
different. That's different.
Alright,
We're
okay.
talking about a clothes
I
assisted
thought you meant the other way.
Right. Cock tuck.
Gotcha.
We're getting into the real mechanics of
Yeah.
all right,
how
I
to
agree.
tuck a
I
cock
agree
here.
with Chandler. It's Jackass Forever. I totally forgot
It's
about
Jackass
Jackass
Forever.
Forever.
My
If there's one thing they should be remembered for, it's penises. I mean, come on, give them that.
I think I will be a dissenting vote and say, mostly because I haven't seen Jackass Forever, but my vote goes firmly for Banshees of Inisherin, which has just it's just there. It's just there for you to see.
Yeah.
It dwells on it for a moment and lets you kind
And
of
it's
linger
funny.
with it.
I didn't know what I was looking at when I was watching that. I'm like, wait, what is happening? But I think I'm gonna go Banshees too because the cocks in Jackass are just so disturbing. Every use of them is.
That's what
I can't
it's
get my.
visceral.
Jacob, have you seen any of the Jackasses?
No, I haven't seen any of them.
Dude, I would watch all of them with you.
Yeah,
I'd
same.
watch them all.
It's
Except
not
for the
really my
one
thing. You'll
paper
have to
cut
get me at the right
sequence.
time.
Just get
Yeah.
high
Yeah,
and
get-
watch them.
Inebriated.
Dude, we have to plan that. After Twin Peaks, so we finish the
It's a good
return
follow-up.
for 12 hours of Jackass.
I'm really not trying to watch any of them, which
Why?
makes what I'm about to say very dangerous. The way you get me to watch them is you get as many people as possible into our living room to watch the Jackass movies and peer pressure me into watching them.
Okay.
Making-
Brandon was watching them at our apartment when he was staying here.
I'll come down into California.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like if everyone's watching
Yeah.
it in the house, I'm not going to be alone.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm going
I
to
get it.
miss out a
We
movie
can
that
do
everyone's
that.
watching?
We can easily do that.
Yeah.
If it's just one person in the house, that's not going to do it. It has to be a concerted effort. It has to be a conspiracy to get me to watch them. So that's my hint to you.
Cool.
Fair
It'll
enough.
take some effort on your part, but hey. All
It's
right,
good
we,
for cock.
we have a tie. Maybe we'll put a
We'll let the
poll.
audience decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cock of the year. Jackass Forever or Banshees.
Look, all I'm saying is Banshees of Inisherin is getting all the Oscar noms. Give this to Jack.
It's dressed as Godzilla.
Yeah, the production value alone should give it. Cock
Oh,
of the Year.
gross. And then the ball's getting trampled on.
He comes on.
It's the opening
Tony
of the
Hawk.
movie. It's great.
Yeah.
It's no question. I'm with you, Chandler. It's the best.
Well, good. I'm glad we have. This is amazing. We have a spirited discussion. There wasn't really any competition for Red Rocket last year.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
it's called Red Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only is it the best cock shot of the year, but it's built around
It was
that
cockbait.
particular cock
It was
shot.
cockbait,
Yeah,
right?
It was cockbait. It was cockbait. It's a legendary cock shot. It might be top 3.
And they
I can't
stole
think of
it,
any
I'm pretty
others.
sure. Pretty sure they stole
Well,
that
they
shot.
stole it literally in the sense that they shot it without permits. Yes,
That's what I mean. Yeah. They stole the shot.
they weren't
yeah.
ripping off Fellini.
Yeah, Werner Herzog style, baby. Just run and gun. Cool.
Are we doing
Literally.
actual top 5s now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actual top fives. Now the moment you've all been
Alright.
waiting for.